Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Private Club Radio. I'm your host, Denny Corby. This episode is all about how artificial intelligence, how AI can revolutionize the club industry. It can do so many amazing things, and we have an intriguing conversation with Laura Leszczynski from Strategic Club Solutions, and we discuss how AI has the potential to transform clubs and help clubs achieve their goals in a much quicker time. Because we are in a time right now when time is very valuable. And I'm going to try to not say time another time for the continuation of the episode. So we talk a little bit about the importance of AI and what garbage in and garbage out means, and really just learn and show you how it can simplify tasks in your entire club. And at the end, we get the scoop on an exclusive masterclass Laura and Strategic Club Solutions is introducing, and it goes all over AI in depth. And it's not just sit there and learning, it's being broken out into small groups. So you're going to leave every session. There's 2 sessions, and you're going to leave with tangible content. You're going to leave with tangible results that you can take to your club and use immediately. And if you're interested in signing up for the AI Masterclass, head on over to privateclubradio.com/SCS. That's privateclubradio.com/SCS. And now, let's welcome Laura Leszczynski to Private Club Radio.
So I'm Laura Leszczynski, and I'm with Strategic Club Solutions. I have been in the club industry since 2015, specifically with SCS, but my background is 30 years of marketing and design. And my specialty is neuromarketing. So the science of great behavior and the science of human persuasion. And so that's where I niche out on a lot of psychology and a lot of business strategy as well. Go into clubs and either make them a healthier club or help them reach their objective and do a lot of strategy inside of that. And it was when I started, and I actually have been honored to be named Gary Player of the Year by Boardroom Magazine, SCS has. And that's how this all started, because when I started presenting, I started asking at the end, and at the very end, I'd just throw a slide up and I would just have the ChatGPT logo and say, okay, I just want to make sure who's using this. And then when so few hands started going up, I started thinking, oh, here we go. And this industry for some, right, we're coming into season, we're in season right now, and they're going to be overwhelmed. They're short staffed. They have limited resources. They're already tapped out. So this is really important that we try to get this out as fast as we could, so they could actually enjoy the rest of their summer season.
And how long have you been working with and following AI for? Because I know you haven't been, I guess, not just your searching last week. Like, you've been involved for a while. You've been doing the work.
Well, and I've been very lucky. So yeah, so the answer to that question is really, it's in the last couple of years, people have talked about it, but this ChatGPT was unfamiliar to me. I hadn't followed it as closely. In September is when my contact was said, listen, here's what's coming. Keep your eyes open. And as soon as the ChatGPT was released in November, that's when I jumped on it. So I've been playing ever since and just asking, how's it going to be adopted? At one point, Google went to a code red, and that was a really big deal. And they were thinking back in February, was Google going to be extinct? What was going to happen? Because if you think about how Google is from a revenue standpoint, they make money off of advertisements. Well, if you're going to ChatGPT, you're writing your question, you're getting your answer. Now search engine optimization isn't in play. Google Ads isn't in play. So it was just been really interesting. So then we realized, nope, they're going to fold it right in. So Microsoft is one of the bigger investors of this, Elon Musk. And Microsoft and Google, they're all weaving the AI in. So as opposed to being competition, becoming now a part of who they are.
So why don't you tell me about what you guys have coming up?
So we have a masterclass. So what happened was I started introducing the question of who's using AI in some of my presentation, and 3 hands would come up in a room of 45 people. And then I started to introduce, it was minimal. And then I was surprised by that. And then I thought, okay, wait a minute. So let's back it up. Let's introduce it. But let's show it. And so we have this masterclass opportunity there. It's a one class, but broken into 2 sessions. So for people to actually talk about club industry scenarios and workshop through and use AI to help a better outcome. But once you start to see it, you can start to see, like you referenced, right? There's a garbage in, garbage out component to this. And that prompt engineering is really the big piece, though.
Yeah. Yeah. What's going to be in that class? I know you did 2 webinars to lead up to this class, which were fantastic. So how are you going to top the webinar?
Because we're actually going to have people workshop together. So they're going to have their conversations. They're going to bring their stuff ahead of time. They're going to be signed up and ready to go. And then we can help walk them through it. So when they leave, they actually have deliverables or content or guidance or structure to whatever they're working on.
Ooh, that's fun. So they're going to leave like with physical, tangible things. It's not just like one of those feel good. Oh, I learned a lot. Like they're going to walk away with like tangible, real things.
Whatever they have. So for example, let's give an example. So let's say you have a GM in the room and they have a July newsletter that they're working on. They can come in, we'll teach them the data that they need to put in the prompt. I have a formula that we use for the prompt, the commanding. We'll get the real-time output for them, check back in, say, okay, how's that feeling? And then here's how you can make it better. And then here's how you can make it again. And you stay inside of that thread and work through it. So they can actually leave inside of their thread because Chat GPT keeps all of your history. They can go back when they go back and implement it. They can hand it off to whoever does the design or implementation of the newsletter. Here, let me talk about this then. Okay, so there's 2 parts to it, right? So one of the parts we're going to focus on, the first part is on the club communications part. The second part is just on saving time. So for example, if there are agendas that needed to be run or efficiencies inside of the operation, it's one of those things where until you show up, you didn't even know you needed it. And it's like the iPhone, right? If we would have said 15 years ago, do you need a smartphone that would incorporate in your everyday life? People would say, nope. Now it's our right arm. So as soon as people understand AI, start to use it and understand the strategy behind it, because really the masterclass is set up to be very club specific and very intentional about how to use it to really make your day to save time. It really is one of those tools, unlike any that I have ever experienced, where the amount of effort that you put in to gain. So if you spend 5 minutes, you can save 2 hours, right? If you put in 3 minutes, you can save an hour. It's that significant once you understand the way that this works and clicks.
Unreal. And then it's once you have that, then it's, I don't want to say copy and paste, but you have that formula. You have that outlet or that outline. So it's, oh my goodness, so much time.
Well, the other thing too is I don't think people understand what its capabilities or lack of capabilities are. So there's a bunch of things that the AI cannot do for you. So we'll go through that as well. We'll make sure that we'll give the formula that I have found and have tweaked over the last 4 months that works really well to kind of hit a home run right out of the gate. Really excited about just showing. I think people are going to come in with a limited mindset. I think they're going to leave with a much more open-mindedness and innovative mindset on, well, let's see if AI can do this. Yeah. I think that is going to be a whole mind shift that's going to happen once they leave this.
And I feel like, just chatting, just chatting with different people, it's, I think they think it's a copy and paste and like, that's it. Like, no, it's like, it's a step stool. It's like almost like instead of calling your friend every 5 minutes, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or going to Google and just being like, thesaurus.com and trying to find, synonyms and stuff. It just helps you. Yeah. Wow.
Right. I use the metaphor of a sandwich. So I say that AI is the meat of the sandwich. It is your job, the consumer, the person who's working in it, to put on the lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles in the bun. Otherwise, it's going to sound like AI. It's really significant because once you come in, you're going to find a pattern. So if people say through the prompt, they'll say, write a GM letter. I think every single time it said, hi, I hope this finds you well. Oh. And then it gets into it, right? So delete that. That is not right. Get rid of that. But you have the bulk of it and then you get to massage it accordingly. So there's words that maybe feel more familiar to past conversations. There's terms that may be more, not jargon, but more relevant to your club and the way that your club is communicated. You get to fold those in. Any pickle, right? Ketchup, throwing that in there. Very important to have that. Otherwise, it is going to sound like copy and paste. And that is the last thing we want it to be. It really has to sound familiar in your club's, brand voice. It has to have that integrity inside of it. It needs to be reviewed. If someone does a copy and paste, you're going to get called down on it. I mean, there's savvy consumers that we have as members, and, chances are they're using it in their business and they already know what it might sound and feel like. And so we want to get rid of that.
Yep. Especially the people who copy and paste and don't proofread either. You're like, oh,
100%.
That's clearly okay.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that, people find out as they start to learn this, that Chat GPT only goes to 2021. So if you're looking for anything that's within the 2022, 2023 timeframe, that's a limitation for it. And so if there might be some data that needs to be corrected or statistics, so people should go back and then make sure that they're double checking their work. That's really significant. I also think there's some limitations with people understanding what they can do inside of the prompt. So I like to give this example, so it's tone of voice, right? The TOV. And as people prompt their tone of voice, so for some, it might be professional, might be casual, whatever. People can have a lot of fun playing if they say, write the GM July newsletter as Shakespeare, right? Or they write it as a pirate. You could say write it as Donald Trump, right? These are extreme personalities with extreme outputs.
Mm-hmm.
And as people get impressed by that, then you go, okay, well, if they can do that, then there might be someone else in professional world or celebrity world or Tony Robbins world or whatever that looks like. You can model some of those tone of voices inside of that too. So it's really powerful. I don't think people understand. I think that the class is going to give, especially the first part, is going to give you a great overview of what it can do. And then I think the second part is it's like, okay, now how do you take that and ramp it up? So you've got that meat. How do you add the extra fixings to it so that it really is either more innovative, more efficient, and just has a better output all the way around? I think that the other thing that I have found when I've been introducing this to clients is being a good writer is a skill set, and it's not a skill set everyone has. They have great ideas, but let's say you have your catering manager or some mid-manager that needs to have communications with someone, maybe it's an events or potential customer or member client that maybe wants to have a wedding. Well, you have to have a level of sophistication and quality professional writing. So just inside of those efficiencies, I think people as we get them to understand, okay, yes, you can use it there. Yes, you can. I think it's going to be a yes, and you can use it here. Yes, and you can use it there. And I'm hoping that opens up what I call a loop. So if it opens up their minds and gives them an open loop, this will lend itself to a lot more possibility and innovation. If there was a leave behind with this, I do think that I find that people are fearing this more than they should. And I realize it's new. And, SCS plays in the whole neuromarketing, right? We did a whole chapter on it in Clubology.
Yeah.
This idea of, why things work and the aversion to change. But this is a really work with it, don't fear it opportunity. And I also think because there's an early adoption, so people like you and I are using it, we've mastered it to the point that we know, but we probably, we can push we can push the limits on it as well. We just don't even know. And AI is learning all the time. I think that what I find people get pretty excited about is I was at an event in February, and I have a really good friend who's been in the development with using AI for 20 years. He's on the ethics board out of Switzerland. And he was sharing with me, I remember it was a Friday, and he said, oh my God, he said, AI just passed the MCATs and the LSAT. Right. And so this machine that is happening, we're building it and it's learning at the same time. So sometimes people think it's another Google searching option, and it's not. This is a whole new animal. I mean, I gave the statistic in the webinar with, there's a chart that references how fast we got to 1 million adopters for ChatGPT. And, they gave an example of, like Netflix, it took 3.5 years, and Twitter took 2 years to have 1 million users. For chat, it took 5 days. So, I mean, that's just mind blowing to me. And I think, one of the statistics I have shared is it grew by 9,900% to reach 100 million users in the span of 2 months.
That's wild.
So, I mean, it's moving. So and this is a ship we can use every metaphor, right? Train has left station. The ship has, it's soared. Jump on, get in, get on. I mean, it's so important, really. And professionally, if you're not on this in the next month or two, others are, and it's going to hurt. It's going to show, right? Quality is going to be affected by it. I also think, we're going to see some abuse of it. We're going to have to figure out how to play inside of that as well. But, in the meantime, ride this wave, another metaphor, to, use it to be more productive and just more efficient and just run a healthier club as far as some of the quality output.
Is there going to be a replay of the masterclass or anything, or is it a once and done?
It's set up right now as a once and done. We'll see what the feedback is like. We'll take a look and see if people want more. Maybe we run another live one. And that really is because we're going to do so much individual workshopping.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How much does it cost? Because it's not that much money.
No, it's $197 for both. And then CMAA allows eligibility to earn 2 CMA credits with it.
Boom. Win-win.
Yeah, completely.
And it's a write-off. So come on.
That's right. That's one of the things you should do at the very least is open up an account and go to chat.open.ai.com. Set up an account. It's free. The ChatGPT 4, obviously it's a paid one, but you can stay in the 3.5 and just start playing with it. Get a little familiar with it, get comfortable with it. If you have any questions, they can reach out to me. I'm happy to do that. But I think that until you get your hands in it and on it, you really don't understand potential. I had, after the webinar that we just gave about it, I had one subject line caught my attention. It said, "Holy crap," all in capital letters with 5 exclamation points. And then one of the club industry people sent me and said, "This is the prompt I put in. This is what it came out." And he was absolutely blown away. And so we started getting a lot of that yesterday. But I think once people get involved and start to play, that's where they can see, and then I even, in the webinar that we did, I explained that, this isn't just for work. These are long hours that industry people do. You can ask it to write a menu with a shopping list for a family of 5 with kids 7 and 10-year-old and maybe who have gluten allergies or whatever that looks like. I mean, it is as simple as that, and they can plug it in. One of the other tips that I like to give is, we talked about the garbage in, garbage out, and this idea of, what you put into that prompt absolutely is in direct relationship to what that output is. But I like to use the saying of Eli 5. So explain it like I'm 5. Eli 5. And if people have that in their minds when they start to put in their commands, then it becomes easier because people tend to want to overwrite or overthink when really chat just needs to understand what are your thoughts, and then it'll culminate and put some organization to them.
Hope you all enjoyed that episode. I know I find AI fascinating, and that was just cool to talk to somebody else who also geeks out on it and get a little bit more inside scoop. If you are interested, head on over to privateclubradio.com/SCS to learn more or to sign up for the AI Masterclass. It is well worth the money, and there's going to be so much valuable content that you're going to leave with so much information. If you're enjoying the content here on Private Club Radio, we would love and appreciate any support you can give by sharing, subscribing, rating. Nothing is too big or small, and we truly appreciate the support. Until next time, catch you on the flippity flip.